Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. A long overdue episode. I think it's been at least a month since I've done one of these videos. I've got no excuse really, I'm just a lazy bastard. Today we are covering M Rens Ultimate Remaster. So, as you know on this channel, my favourite type of mods are the graphic mods, and I've done a few videos. Well, a lot of the videos I've done are specifically about graphic mods, retextures and stuff like that. This is obviously a graphics mod, but what I've done with this one is usually I'm running static mesh improvement mod, the Skyrim graphical overhaul 1 and 2, Skyland, and then a few other ones like Whitewood Run. I couldn't say it last time. White Run Wood. So this mod here is an effort to cut down on the amount of space that we're using on the graphics mods. So what I'm doing for this one is I've removed Skyrim graphical overhaul 1 and 2. This is intended as a replacement for those, so we're not having those in this video. And I've taken the static mesh improvement mod off as well, because I mistakenly thought that this mod included meshes, but it doesn't. But there is a side patch, if you will, for this mod that does include meshes, so we're going to cover that in the next video. So the mod author recommends that you use Skyland because this mod doesn't really deal with rock textures and nature textures and stuff like that. So the only graphics mod that we're running in this video is Skyland. Skyland is on in both the before and after, so any improvements that you see won't be down to Skyland, it'll be down to the M Rens remaster. You may notice that the load order had changed as well. We're going to discuss that at the end of the video. So that being said, let's jump straight in. So here we've got vanilla game with Skyland, and there it is with M Ren remaster. I'm just going to call it Ren's remaster from now on. No massive improvements there. Like I said, doesn't really deal with nature textures. However, there are a couple of them in there, so we will be looking at those. Here we are just outside Lakeview Manor. You're going to notice a change on the anvil and the work tables, and I think maybe the smelter in the background as well. Yeah, so you can see that they're a lot, don't want to say smoother again, I always say smoother, a lot clearer. You can see the detail in them a little bit nicer than on the vanilla mod. And again, inside Lakeview Manor, the reason I wanted to include this one is because it does say that it does a lot of interior stuff in the mansion, so I wanted to know if that meant Lakeview Manor as well, and it does. So the carpet's changed. The wood is lighter on the table and darker on the rafters and beams, which it was the other way round on the vanilla game. Not any massive improvements, but you know, it's still nice to have those changes put in. This again is just going to be a case of it doesn't necessarily improve things, it doesn't make them worse, it just makes them different. If you do, I do stand by my recommended graphics overhaul video. That is the setup I'm going to use in future. So go and check that out if you're interested on getting what I consider the most out of this game graphics wise. Again, just a few changes on the wood textures on the beams and rafters there. Here we are in Whiterun. One of the things that the Rems remaster does is it adds more trees and foliage into places, a bit like SGO, although it does a slightly bit better because it adds trees and stuff in instead of just grass on roads. So we got a lot of change there. The cobble road has changed. We got some new trees in on the left. The roof has changed. There's very few textures in this screenshot that haven't changed. That haven't stayed the same. I can't even get my words out properly. Yeah, so a majority of the textures in that last screen were changed from the before and after. There you notice the house in the background is a lot darker. Again, doesn't necessarily look any better to me. It just has got a new facelift. Looks a bit murkier, really. Not as bright as the last one, but you know, maybe that's your thing. Here we are in Markarth. Not a lot changed here. Um, I shouldn't be shocked by that, really, because this is all mainly stone textures, and I haven't really noticed a massive change in any of the stone textures. But I thought I'd still go and check it out anyway, because a lot of the cities have had some degree of a facelift. Again, here we are on a wide view of Markarth. You're not going to notice a lot of change, if any, here. Again, because it's mainly all stone textures. Maybe if you strain your eyes, you'll see one or two things which have changed or been updated, but personally I don't see a lot of change here at all. Here we are in Solitude. Main thing you're going to notice here is any wood facades on the building gets a little update, and the bridge in the background, the alcove, the stonework's changed on there, and I would say that the lighting looks a little bit better as well, although I am using the lighting mod, which I think is what's causing those lanterns to go haywire in the background. A wide shot of Solitude. Again, no real big change. I mean, the mod does change a lot of things, to be fair, but they're mainly you know, smaller items and stuff like that. If you go back to the Lakeview Manor vid, you'll see like barrels in the background and sacks change. There you go, there was the change. And I really can't see anything here at all worth mentioning, so let's move on. This is a weird one because I thought I got these clips mixed up at first, because this is the vanilla game with Skylands, but when we bring in Rens texture remaster, you can see that we lose some of the shininess on the wall in the background there and on the steps, which I really liked. The Rens remaster makes it look a little bit worse in my opinion there, but on this screen it almost definitely makes an improvement all around. If you watch the stone wall immediately on the right, and again the stone textures on the altar round by where the greybeard just walked off, you're going to see a lot of improvement there, and that is coming in right about now. So there you go. As you can see, that wall on the right now, you can see all the little specks of like different types of rock in the granite, and a lot of the green has been taken out of the rock colour, and it's more of a grey brown, which is a bit more natural. Here again, no massive change. There's a couple of the wood facades have changed for the better, I would say, but no like massive improvement really. Oh, actually that does look quite a bit better. Still a bit murky like, but you can see the tiles on the roofs are a lot better, and all the wood textures have been improved and look a lot smoother and nicer to look at. Moving on again, where are we next? Riften again. Here we are before and after. So again, some nice improvements there. The rock textures on the walls look nicer, and you can really see the extra detail that you get from the tiled roofs from the Rens remaster in this shot. And here we are in, where are we? Want to say Winter Hold. No, that's the College of Winterhold. Windhelm, that's it. I always forget the name of this one. Already looks nice. There's the vanilla game with Skyland on, and then we bring in Rens remaster. Very little change, if any. To be fair, it is a bit of a foggy day, so it's hard to see the textures, but you'll see some change in the next screen. Here we are just outside the palace, and you're going to notice the rock textures on the walls on the right are going to look improved there. So now you see like the smaller bricks a bit more detailed. Again, no massive change, and to be fair, that is down to the fact that the file size isn't as big. And I'm not necessarily saying that the other graphical overhauls that I recommended have vastly changed the cities, but the file size on Rens Remaster is like half of the two SGO ones put together. So you you do have to make some sacrifices in terms of the amount of changes that you will get. This is outside the Dwarven ruin, and in the transition there, the only thing I could spot was in the distance the little bronze roofs on the building, the fort that you go into, changed. No big change here at all. Again, this is inside the Dwarven ruins, and a lot of the changes in here is just going to be to do with the Dwarven metal decorations. So this gate here gets a very minor update. It's hard to tell, but it has changed. That wasn't the lighting change. The changed the texture of that. Then, as we'll see in the next screen, you're gonna notice that the grate on the immediate right and the two grates in the distance are gonna change, and that's coming in now. So there is a little bit more detail on them, but no massive changes really there. The pipes run along the roof and down the side of that column as well changed a bit, which you'll see a bit more in the next screen. It is in vanilla, and keep your eye on those pipes because as you can see they get a little bit of a change. So that's everything I grabbed so far for the Rens remaster. Like I said, we've still got to go back and do the mesh improvement on the next video. Now, I don't know how in-depth that mesh improvement patch is going to be because the static mesh improvement mod is almost a gigabyte. I think it's like 900 megabytes, something like that. And I took a quick look at the Rens remaster mesh update patch, and that's only 140 megabytes, I think. So you're not going to get the variety of changes that you will get, with the static mesh improvement mod. But like I said, I covered this mod mainly for people who are running out of space and don't necessarily want to dedicate so much to the graphics side of the modern community because, like I said, you got SGO 1 and 2, which must be like 1.5 gig together. Static Mesh Improvement mod, which is almost a gig. So with those three mods there, you're talking 2.5 gig almost, if not more, just for the textures. This one, as you can see, is just a gigabyte with the Skyrim remaster and then the Skyrim remaster patch. It's just like a compatibility patch. We won't count Skyland because we use that in both graphics builds. So it really saves you like 1.5 gigabytes of space without having to sacrifice too much. Now, I don't think it looks as nice as SGO 1.2 and the static mesh improvement model thrown in as well. That's obvious, just because, as I said, they've got a lot more to them. And this is kind of like one all-encompassing mod, even though you will have two patches with the Remaster Plus and the static mesh patch as well. But one of the things you may be wondering is why are the graphic mods now at the top of the loader order when every video I've done on the graphics mods I've said put them to the bottom. Well, now they can go to the top where it's usually best to put them, just because we're not using the Skyrim graphic overhauls, which by necessity need to go near the bottom, otherwise they're quite unstable. So that's why we had all our graphics mods at the bottom of the load order, and it was a perfectly stable load order. There was nothing wrong with them being at the bottom, but we kind of had all our graphics mods down there just because SGO needed to be down there. Not that the other graphic mods had to be down there, but it's just good to keep them together in my opinion. So now that we don't need to put them at the bottom because of SGO, we can put them at the top. And like I said, you can leave them at the bottom if you want to, as long as your game's running stable and you're not getting any problems. Leave them down there, it's not a problem. For anyone who wants to just go all out ridiculous with the graphics load order, you can have a static mesh improvement mod and SGO running with this mod, although this mod will override some of the nicer textures I feel that SGO brings in. So it's kind of a waste because you're using up all that space for SGO, which is not going to get used because it'll just get overwritten by the Rens remaster. But absolutely go for your static mesh improvement mod, then Skyland, then the Rens remaster. If you don't want to lose all the cool extras and features that are added in by the static mesh improvement mod, because they are nice, and I definitely don't think I can play the game without that mod now. So like I said, we're going to take a look at the M Rens remaster mesh patch in the next video to see how it holds up. But I already know, as I keep bumping my mic, but I already know it's not going to be as good as the static mesh improvement mod. So I'm rambling again, and I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, sorry that it has been nearly a month since my last upload. Gonna try and not let that happen again, but I doubt there was too many of yous out there scrambling for a new Bainesy video. But if you were, thank you, and I'm gonna keep it back on a regular basis from now on. So that being said, goodbye.